There's something in here the inspector is inspecting. Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do some exploring of our main building here behind us, which I like to call the Dungeon of Doom, only because it's kind of creepy. But outside of that, I think it should be perfectly fine. It hasn't been cleaned up yet, but before there was no power. So now you'll get to see like all the nooks and crannies of a lot of this old stuff, which is kind of cool. Let's go down there now. So before we shoot down there, I wanted to show everyone the original blueprint for this basement level. The only thing really different is that storage on the middle right is now a bathroom. Everything else seems pretty much the same. I mean, fruit storage obviously isn't storing fruits anymore. It's like a storage facility for, papers that has lockers and shelves. But aside from that, I think everything is pretty much exactly the same. There are multiple playrooms, and to be honest, it is very dark and dingy down here. Maybe with better lighting, I could see these as playrooms. But they do seem kind of dark. Unless these children were vampires, I'm not really quite sure if they enjoyed the darkness. But anyways, back to the tour. This is our main hallway, and this is our first entrance down the main stairwell. So we're going to go down. So this light used to turn on, and it was never able to turn off. Oh yeah, before I even start, the entire building has all these weird door switches. So if you see this, there's a switch in the door, and none of them work. Well, some of them work, but most of them don't work. So I'm not sure if those are just wired incorrectly, or they just never functioned. The front main entrance, it's a little dingy. We might need some supplemental light, so I brought a flashlight. And here is the main largest room down here. Is to the left here. This looks like it used to be a classroom. As you can see, all of the chalkboards and stuff, the lights on this side do not work. There is a double door over here that leads into like a workbench area. As you can see, all these tiles have fallen off the ground. And they have these old style radiators at top. So I was asked the question, are all of these pipes that are wrapped in asbestos? And the answer is no. This was rewrapped in fiberglass at some point in time. There is a really large vent here, and I honestly don't know where this vent goes to. You can't really see through it because there is nothing on the other side of this wall. It's dirt. So unless that was used to ventilate outside, I'm not really sure what that was. And you can see there's some power boxes on the side that are completely empty. This was one of the concern areas. I think this might be root damage. This is definitely some sort of water damage coming through this wall here. I don't know if that's caused by the roots outside. And you see there are some power outlets here that are completely empty. And that's about it. I don't know why they chose carpet for here because it is definitely not aged well. And this house used to also have a whole house vacuum system, if you look at that. That's the outlet for one of them. So over here we have a bathroom, which was just a storage section. So you can see there's our sink here. There's a miniature toilet, filing cabinets, berry baskets, styrofoam trays, paper egg cartons, margarine containers, rolls, cans with lids, cans, scoops, cards, sheets. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable putting food storage down here. I just walked into a massive spider web. But this is that front room. And this is the room over here, which basically, if you guys remember the power episode, that's what I had to flip on. I did have to wire in a new ground wire up here into the other room. Same thing down here. It's kind of a small room. It has another one of these racks, which someone mentioned in a different video is actually not for servers. It's actually a switch rack, because a server rack would require some sort of ventilation. And you can see there's a power backup down here as well. And this building uses so much power that the actual power doesn't go directly through the meter. It goes to this box first, then the meter siphons off of this box to see how much power is used. And once again, all of these tiles on the ceiling are just falling off. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely moldy down here, so hence all this stuff on the wall. So that will definitely be something that needs to be taken care of. So let's move on through the other side. Once again, this is the stairwell going up. Once again, all of these tiles have fallen. I haven't really spent too much time down here. Just for the electrical, this outlet is just falling out of the wall on this drinking fountain here, and I'm probably just going to remove this because this is old and probably I wouldn't drink out of it. Let's just say that much. Here's our dehumidifier. So we have a small room back here which has a lot of interesting stuff. So this closet has a filing cabinet in it, and it also has one of those switches in the door here to turn on and off the light. So when you open it, it basically turns on, and when you close it, it turns off. Unfortunately, some of those don't work real well. So here is the other side where that French door leads to, which is completely painted shut, so you can't open this really. And they just have a variety of shelving in here. So what's cool is there is a workbench here. It is a bit on the stuffy side. The ceiling looks to be in good condition. It's not falling down, and it's relatively clean in here, which is very shocking compared to the rest of the building. And we have some really old electric equipment. Square D rectifier. Square D still around, which is good. Some unterminated wires. So I'm gonna try not to touch that. General time switch controls. And all of these have really old equipment in it. Signaling transformer. Over here, there's wiring with these old style screw-in fuses. I'm not really sure what this was for. Down here, we have some sort of timing system. That's what that looks like. And master on. And we have another one down here, battery, with the old style fuses as well. Oh, this one won't even open. No, there we go. All right, so we have something else. AC current, amps, volts, and we have what looks to be another transformer of some sort. So I'm actually not even sure what any of this stuff is, or if it's still active or not, but definitely it's here. And I do have a light out back that turns on a timer. And the thing is, none of this looks like it's actually connected still. So I'd be shocked if it was here. There's a cabinet here, and it is locked, and we don't have the key, so we can't open that. So maybe that would be another Mystery Monday where we open one of those up. There's a clock in here that has completely stopped functioning. And here's another look at, all the toolboxes and stuff. Let's see if this opens. Okay, there's a drawer here. No handle, nothing in it. All right, now we're walking through here. Back outside, you can see all this ceiling is peeling really, really badly. And the mold on it, it's not great. So look at it, it's bad. So here is what they called fruit storage, which is interesting because look at this door. It looks like it was made to be sealed really tight. And except for they drilled a huge hole through the top there. So that's fun. So we have a bunch of lockers in here. So holiday items, scissors, water paint, color sets. We have, here is our inlet for our water. So this pipe here, and this is what I had to put on this ground wire here. Here's our waste pipes and stuff from the rest of the building. And we just have a bunch of spare doors on the ground as well. I don't know where they came from or where they're going. And we have a biohazard bucket. Maybe I should get rid of that as well. I'm thinking probably this entire build, like all these built-ins, I guess not even built-ins. I'm thinking of probably just getting rid of most of these because I don't see myself ever using these. And I mean, oh, they're all, I mean, they're nice to have. It's just, I don't know what I'd put down here. And you know what they say, when you put stuff in drawers, they're there to die. So we'll probably never use them ever again. So here is our main hallway. This is the mechanical room, which is kind of interesting. So all of this stuff is really, really old. So this is the heating system to the annex, and you see there's a bulge on the side here. When I got here, none of this stuff was drained. So this, I drained 40 or 50 gallons of water out of this, including this upper tank up here, which is an expansion tank, if I recall correctly. And then this is a large steam boiler for the main building. And this was serviced somewhat recently, but this is like the size of a car almost. It's very large. We can see like this unit here has been cracked. This boiler, I mean, looks like it was drained before the winter, but we are really unsure. So over here we have a fan, literally with no louvers on it, that leads straight to the outside. I did test this. This does work. There's a separate breaker here for something, and then this looks to be old phone stuff. And it looks to be also there was some sort of poop pipe or some sort of pipe that, you know, terminated here into the ground. We have a circuit breaker to the annex. That is an annex circuit breaker. Over here is really cool, even though this needs to be removed. This looks to be a natural gas generator with a muffler that shoots out in case the power goes out. Over here we have our main water line. So this water line is something of massive concern because this actually goes into the other room as I showed you earlier. So essentially, before the water comes into the house, it travels probably about 100 feet from the curb here and then travels internally through this pipe from that fruit storage room, probably another 30 or 40 feet before it makes it to the water meter, which 100% is leaking. Still probably. So if we open this up, oh, there we go. You can see like a drop of water coming out, but it did seem like it had a little bit of pressure, which is, oh yeah, there you go. Yep, that water meter is 100% leaking. Which, not surprising. We're going to close that. Then we have a backflow valve over here. And there's a fire line that goes up. And I'm pretty sure this pressure gauge is completely wrong because it's definitely no pressure in there because it's completely empty. But this is kind of cool. Look how big this conduit is coming into the power box. It is massive. So over here, this is where the dual boilers were. So there are two 50-gallon, I think, water heaters here. And after we closed, this basically went missing. So you can see there's a silhouette here of where it used to be. And it is completely gone. Back here we have a control system for, I think it's probably the boiler. Yeah, burner lighting sequence. So I mean, this is pretty interesting. And then there's multiple switches here for, I'm assuming the pumps, which two of them are pretty bad. This one looks new. This one here looks new. This one says bad motor and it looks real crusty. So that probably definitely is not functioning properly. I'll take their words for it. And back here we have another control center for the pumps, which is also interesting. I don't know if this opens. Oh, it does. So we have a couple relays in here, some wiring. I honestly have no clue what I'm looking at, so best for someone else. And look at this exhaust pipe coming through here. This is massive. And this boiler is a Smith boiler, and it is huge. And you can see the ceiling is also kind of flaking a little bit. But this must have been crazy when this was built, Here's the furnace power, and then here's a pump. So cast iron receiver. I'm not really sure what this pump is for, and I'm sure someone in the comments will probably know what this is for. All right, so let's move back out. So we can move back out, back to the main hallway. This light didn't turn on originally. It was super crispy, and I had sparks arcing, so I still have to fix that later. We have another, some sort of box that says type 1, and it looks like Ethernet coming out of it. Might be some sort of data box. We have another floodlight here. So every floor on this house has a fire hose, and as designated here, fire hose. And that light is, I don't know if that's on all the time. Oh, it's one of these too, so perfect. There we go. And this definitely looks hazardous right here of just random wires. But they look like low voltage wires. They all look like Ethernet cable wires. So I think that should be fine, but you know, hazardous maybe, unsure. Okay, I guess that stays open. On. I guess that does stay on. So maybe I should unscrew this so it doesn't stay on the whole time. That's probably where most of my power bill's coming from, these huge CCFLs. All right, so we have a closet-ish here. So this is like a half closet. Well, a full closet, but with pretty high ceilings, to be fair. Pretty high ceilings. With a pretty hefty door. Pretty hefty door. Over here, this is where we need some lighting. So over here we have, this is a built-in incinerator to the house. I'm not sure if it's still functioning, but a built-in incinerator. It goes right out the top. To the left of us, we have some storage lockers, which I probably will knock out. And this is the bathroom, the adult bathroom down here. And you can see, oof, this is rough. Like, all of this down here is rough. I definitely have my work cut out for me. So here's the sink, toilet paper, still loaded, and here's the toilet. And in the blueprints, the place next to me is called the women's lounge, which I don't know about you, I would not want to lounge down here. It is very creepy. Well, this main light doesn't work. It is relatively large, and we have shelving down here, quite a decent amount of shelving. And I mean, this would be a great storage space, but that's about it. I don't know if I'd use this room for any sort of actual activities because it does seem kind of dingy, and I wouldn't want a poop pipe right in the middle of the room. So going across, this is the last room. So before that, this is the rear entrance coming in. And we have a power box over here, which one of these keeps on tripping, so I have it off. I have to investigate that later. Here is our, I guess, the most usable space in here. Is the nice part is the floors are super flat. We don't have any issues with those. And this gets a decent amount of light. It's kind of overcast today, so we don't get that much light. We have a closet, which is very large. Very large closet. Once again, weird that there's a toilet brush in here, but you know, we're just not gonna question that. And then this is also very odd. I'm not really quite sure. There are a bunch of switches here, and a lot of them have been blanked out for some reason. And a lot of these don't do anything, they're all dead. And then we have a switch on this wall, which is kind of interesting. It just turns on this little light. It doesn't turn on anything else. Or I'm missing something. And one of these switches turns off the hallway light, and one of them turns on the light in here. So this is, well, at least all the clocks seem to have stopped at different times. Okay, so that one stopped at noon. And we have a massive hole in the ceiling here too, with electrical wires coming out of it, so that's concerning. So the other side of this, I don't know why they built it like this, is the laundry room. So you can kind of see from here, we'll go around. So there's these built-in shelving. And then we can come through here. There is another closet here. It's not very large. It's, oh, door won't open. We have a nook here for something. And once again, not the best electrical wiring I've ever seen. I mean, to be honest, it's probably the worst electrical wiring I've ever seen. So here we are, and this is considered the laundry room. It definitely seems like this was an afterthought, at least where the entrance is, because the light switches for this room are right there, which seems odd. There's some low voltage wires that have just been haphazardly cut here. I'm not gonna lick them to see if they're live. Here's a pressure manifold of some sort. I'm not even really sure what this is for, but you know, there's a bunch of one-way valves and different shutoffs, and it seems like they're all shut off. There was a large water boiler here, which I'm assuming was here when it was a school, and when they turned it into an office building, they didn't need as much hot water. So they got rid of the main boiler and put this small electric one in. We have our 220 volt outlets over there. This is our extractor for the dryer. And in the blueprints, it said the washer and dryer were here, which I guess kind of makes sense because there's a P-trap drain right here, or it could drain into these sinks, which is fine. And then you have water hookups here already. The only thing is you'd have to run this, you'd have to run this vent across the floor. So that's probably not ideal. Over here is kind of cool. This is a dispenser for all sorts of cleaners. So heavy spray cleaner, acid-free washroom cleaner, floor cleaner, and disinfectant cleaner. So that's kind of cool. And then there's a heater on the bottom here. So these sinks are also cast iron, if I recall correctly. They look really hefty. They're really heavy. So I don't really think moving these is going to be an easy task if I am going to get rid of these. So here is also some cracking in the wall. I mean, that's fairly normal for a building of this age. So we have another drainage pipe that is half cemented into the wall. I'm really not sure why. It looks like a poop pipe, but actually there is a bathroom right above here. But I think this pipe is for that bathroom. So I don't know what that one's for. Maybe it might be for drainage. And that is pretty much the entire basement. I mean, it's kind of dingy and it's kind of creepy. That's why I don't really come down here. But you know, it definitely does have some interesting characteristics. And here is the rear stairwell coming out. And once we get out, we are back up to the top near the kitchen. So this is our rear entrance. This is kind of cool right here. This is like a miniature door and it doesn't open. So when I cut that open, I'll be able to see what's in there, which is kind of cool. And we are back now to the kitchen. I want to make note, I did bring a laser level down here at one point in time, and I did check the courses of block. And surprisingly, for a house that's over 100 years old, all the block is still pretty level. So the foundation of this house hasn't moved barely at all over the last 100 years. And I think one of the reasons for that is this basement is a lot deeper than your standard basement in the Northeast. So if you look at where that window is and you see where the light comes out, that's approximately where ground level is, where you see that light. So all of the outside windows have grates over them, so no one falls in. And the only light that comes through is above those grates. So I'm gonna go show you that. So we're outside right now and you can kind of see all the grates have, well, all the basement windows have grates over them to prevent people from falling in. So very little sunlight goes into them. So the frost line in this area is approximately 32 inches. So what that means is most basements are dug to around 4 feet deep, or maybe even 36 inches. So that's 3 feet deep. So this building is probably 6 or 7 feet deep in terms of its foundation. So that probably helps a lot from moving during frost cycles and the foundation heaving. So that's kind of my theory on probably why it hasn't moved very much in the last 100 years, which is also pretty awesome. That basically concludes the basement tour. I hope everyone has a good week. I have to poop real bad, so I'm going to go. Thanks for watching. Bye.